Hit me, baby, one more time, is what Britney Spears said, as she allegedly got hit in the face by an NBA star's security. We phoned up the the management of the venue and we're like, we're really sorry, we're not going to be able to make it. And they're like, who are you?
But then most cities have Chineses, like the takeaways.
We can't say that anymore. People, did you remember people were getting mad at Brits in America because we used the word Chinese and Indian?
Wait till they hear Chogi Nosh. We need more music. So if you're looking to get your song, where's the camera? Well, I'm an idiot. I'm controlling the camera. If you're looking to get your song played on a podcast, then please use the link in our description. Comment on this and you'll cut in front of the queue. So at the moment, there's a bunch of songs in queue. But if you want to be listened to next, listen to this episode, drop us a comment, and we will listen to your music
But
next
to clarify, you said on a podcast. It is this podcast. We can't get you on Joe Rogan.
Oh, sure. And the comment should be on this podcast or a different podcast, but tag us. On Joe Rogan, they'll comment being like, I want my music on this podcast. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Is that the intro?
Oh, yes.
Roll the intro. It's a weird start, isn't it?
It was weird.
Should we address the elephant in the room?
What, the last episode?
Yeah, so the last episode got shadow banned, and I found out
shocking
material.
Shocking.
Yeah.
To be fair, the quality was shocking.
Yeah, the conversation
the actual
was shocking.
the standard of the podcast.
Music was alright.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it didn't get any views. It didn't get any. It got basically no views. So if you saw it, thank you. I got one message from someone who was like, "Is there a podcast this week?" And I'm like, "Yes." Ow. So I don't know what happened, but we obviously we're not going to speak about anything at all. So thanks
for listening.
That's it. Roll the outro. No.
Tune in next week.
So if something horrendous happens, and I'm not going to give examples. But let's say someone did something really bad.
Yeah, for example, last week we spoke about
yeah. And what will happen is you may see more cuts now, right? Like you may see, like we could say YouTube are a bunch of.
Well, I mean that's not going to be.
And then what's going to happen is you'll come to this part, right? And there'll be a mysterious gap where there's missing content because we can't really talk about anything because we've had flags and we've had emails and we've had notifications and be like, oh, there's this, it's that, and none of it's like
it'll be just like when the government releases like footage of like anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, so we can't speak. So
probably have to blank that out.
Nah, we'll be alright.
There'll be another cut.
You didn't say anything in particular. So yeah, we're just not going to speak about anything really, unless something in the music industry happens and it's not negative and it couldn't get us blocked on YouTube. So if you're a musician out there, do your worst because we're not going to cover it.
Yeah, we'll still cover it, but we'll have to like, I don't know, come up with like some sort of code.
It'll be like this. It'll be like Michael Jackson. Yeah, there we go. So that's how we're covering news now.
How's your week been?
It's been okay. It's been fine. Nothing's happened. Absolutely nothing's happened.
Yeah, I've not really got up to much. So I was just complaining before this about how in the UK at the moment, I can't deal with the ridiculous rapid changes in temperature. Mm-hmm. Like it's 1 week it's cold and I'm wearing a hoodie.
Yeah.
Like around the house, and then the next minute I'm sweating my beans off.
If here's what it is. If we were that rapid change, if we were in a submarine.
Stop.
I'm just gonna cut again, but that's the last time I did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, it's bad. I agree. It's difficult because it's like I've had days where it's been too hot to walk Gunter, and I've had days where it's been pissing it down with rain. I'm like, okay, here we go, come on.
Yeah,
so it's been tough.
like this is the first year in a while where I feel like we're getting the good old fashioned British summer.
Yeah,
because I'd say for the last few years, our summers have been pretty much uninterrupted sunshine for about like 2 months.
I think last summer wasn't though. I thought last summer was crap.
No,
I thought last summer happened and it was like
last summer. I'm sure almost every day I was putting a like 2 litre bottle of squash in the freezer because it was like I need. What
would you want if you could lock in the weather? What would you want?
20 degrees.
20.
That's even too hot.
Yeah,
I would say probably 16 degrees.
I love cold.
16 degrees. 16 degrees, right? I can still walk around with some shorts maybe and a hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and it's fine, not a problem. I'm not like sweating my balls off trying to sleep at night. I'm not like, I'm just not a sweaty mess. But then it's also not too cold.
We're big boys though, is the problem as well.
Yeah,
when you're a bit
boys.
big,
we are big boys.
and I don't know if you found, and this is going to be I'll say I've not worked out in a while, but when I got into working out, which was like last summer to be fair, that it unlocks as a big boy sweating your arse off.
Oh,
so like,
it's
you
crazy.
work out and you get a sweat on,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then it means that the next day, if you don't work out, but it's a bit hot, you'll sweat your lord.
Oh no, honestly, I've started doing a little bit of exercise, and what I mean by that is like there's a dumbbell there, right, and I pick it up and throw it around and do stuff with it.
Don't throw it around.
Like 5 minutes into that, I'm dripping, and it's just like lifting up a little weight.
Oh, I'm going to get back on it. I think this week. This week I'll get back on it. I'll lock it in. Because I have free weights.
You got 3 weights? I've only got 1.
No, I have 2 free weights.
Oh, so you're like
20
6.
free weights.
You got 6 weights.
And I just do stuff with them, and I'd go through like legs and then arms and chest and back and core. But I just cycle.
No one wants to talk about 2 fat guys' exercise routines.
I know, yeah. If you want to look like me, buy 2 dumbbells and then last summer use them and then just put them down
and then have 8 pints of Guinness.
Yeah, I lifted them up the other day just because I stubbed my toe on one of them because it's in the bedroom. But yeah,
that's fair.
We've been a little bit busy with the band because we're recording at the moment, which is a lot of back and forth because our drummer is producing it as well. Incredibly talented.
A lot of faff, isn't there? A lot of faff.
So much faff. So he'll send them and you're like, okay. And then the first note says like 18 notes. And then he'll send them back and you're like, now there's only 7 notes. And then he'll send another mix and you're like, now there's 15 notes.
And then you get another draft and you're like, I played the wrong note there.
Yeah. So, but they sound amazing. I'm very, very keen. I was trying to think of how can we get it on the playlist?
Oh, no. I'm against it.
How about
I'm against it. I'm against any of our music featuring on this podcast at all. We already talking about it too much.
I like talking about the band though because that's relatable.
Yeah,
musicians.
but not in like a listen to our music kind of way.
No. Well, I don't think we've ever done that. I don't think we've ever done that.
No.
But what I'm saying is, what if when this EP comes out, what if we're one of the submissions and we don't listen to it, but we get someone else to review it and cut that in?
I don't like it.
It'll be like a guest episode. We'll get Sean from Sculpt. He's been played twice now, I think.
Not Sean. I've said some bad stuff.
That's good. Yeah, we wanted to go in on these recordings. I don't know. So we got recordings coming out. That's cool. It's a fun process, but I don't know. I think it's so different for each band. A lot of bands would have gone to a producer and been like, "Here's $1,000, record me 4 songs," and it's a really good way of doing it. And I do like having someone else input. A lot of the times they can help with songwriting and bits that are a bit clunky.
Yeah, for sure.
But we've been gigging these songs for years, so we felt quite confident. So we're recording them ourselves and getting them out there, and we'll see how that goes. But I think that it'll be cool to have them on the playlist, though. I think one of the songs, but we'll sort it out.
Cool.
Music news?
Yeah, I've been scouring the web to see what's happened over the last week, and I'd say probably the number one sort of news headline, right? "Hit me, baby, one more time," is what Britney Spears said as she allegedly got hit in the face by an NBA star's security.
What?
Yeah, big news. She filed a police report to say that she got assaulted. And her story is that she saw this NBA player, right? Mm-hmm. Big guy, so tall.
I tend to be.
Right? And she said she tapped him on the shoulder to try and get his attention. And then his security punched her in the face.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Where did this happen? It didn't happen
in the face.
Britney Spears' face.
Like, in like a casino in Las Vegas.
I didn't know Britney Spears was like allowed out.
In a casino?
Yeah, she's got big gambling problems. No, I didn't know she was like...
No, she's like free now, isn't she?
Is she though?
I thought she was free.
We freed her.
Well,
I didn't free
her.
Have you not seen though the whole thing of like AI Britney Spears and...
I saw something about a picture that her boyfriend took.
Yeah.
And people are like, she's not actually there.
Yeah.
Because like
we might have covered
because
this.
in the sunglasses or something, the reflection of the sunglasses of him taking it, you can see the phone, and in the phone, you can't see Britney Spears in the phone.
See, that's crazy. But then also, and let's be clear here, as much as he could be faking the video, someone could be faking that video. So someone could have just edited it out.
We live in a world of deepfakes now, where it's like
100%.
I can't confidently watch a video of someone saying something and go,
I don't know.
them.
I saw a video.
Although most of the time you can see the lips.
I saw a video that was explaining deepfakes, right? And it had a video of Joe Biden, and he walked up to the podium, and I was like, fake, because it was just
he didn't fall over.
It was just a normal walk. He was like, "Hey guys, Joe here," and you're like,
"This could get us bloody restricted."
Nah,
you're allowed to
Joe
say
Biden.
You're allowed to say stuff about Trump. You're not allowed to say stuff against Biden, are you?
He's an old man, but they used like a couple decades off on the deepfake. But yeah, so there was that one, the phone. There was one where it was a voice, but like the voice was so fake. So he's like recording, and she's like, "Thanks, baby," or something like about birthday presents, maybe.
That did sound pretty fake.
And yeah, it didn't sound like her at all. But yeah, I think there was like a fake voice one. And then there was another one where he was filming. He's like, "Oh, getting ready for Christmas. We're putting up the decorations." And in the background is like Britney Spears and her mum or something. And they're taking a photo together. But she looks like a cardboard cutout. And everyone's like, she doesn't move at all in any of it. But then I watched it again, and she does move a little bit. I think she's just posing for a picture. So she's got a pose. And then like she does that or something. So I don't know. People have been saying that is Britney Spears free? Did we free her? Or did she jump out of the cave and into the mouth of a lion?
Well, the video I saw of her getting hit in the face, she looks pretty real.
It was on film.
Yeah, it got caught on film. Someone like bystander. I did send you it. We could watch it.
Little cut to it. Is it still up?
So I sent another version because like the first version I saw is gone. But here's the weird thing, right? Let me just double check. I think it was
a piece of information that you.
Uh-oh. He's double checking if it was the Guardian.
Just want to get
your source is right.
Yeah, my source is correct.
Well, they won't take.
Yeah, and it's still here, but the article's been removed.
Dagbladet is the channel, right? So credit Dagbladet for the video about to watch.
But anyway, so yeah, this is
the incident.
This is the incident of her getting hit in the face, right? Which I think is a slightly drawn out of, a little bit exaggerated.
What just happened?
You've scrolled or something.
Okay.
Right,
Britney Spears har anmeldt en av sikkerhetsvaktene til basketballstjerna Victor Wembanyama for denne videoen skal vise årsaken. Hun hevder å ha blitt slått av vakta etter at hun tok basketballstjerna på skuldra i et forsøk på å gratulere ham med suksess. Politiet i Las Vegas vil ikke ta ut siktelse mot sikkerhetsvakta, melder AP. Politiet mener at Spears slo seg selv i ansiktet ved.
So that's the incident, basically. It's a bit of a nothing story. But the weird thing is the Guardian music, and they've still got this up on Twitter, right? Britney Spears hit herself while trying to get NBA stars' attention, footage reveals.
That's great gaslighting.
But there's no way that looks like she hit herself.
I don't know.
I'm not saying she got hit in the face, but like it was the security that...
Here's what I'll say. If she's hit, like if she has got hit in the face, right, and she has a mark, it wasn't from his arm.
No.
Because he's batting her arm away.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It is.
But if you
odd.
click on this article, the article has been deleted. It's been removed.
Hilarious.
By the Guardian.
Okay,
so it's just weird.
It's just
it's just another classic example of why you can't just read a headline nowadays. The problem is that's what most people do. Most people won't click on the article.
No.
They just see the article
no one does.
and then carry on scrolling and go, "Oh, that." Yeah, idiot, shoot herself. But anyway, that's like a big story at the moment. Apparently the NBA star is like, I didn't know it was Britney Spears. I only found out afterwards.
Fair.
It's also a bit like...
The guy...
Like, do you not look at all? Like, how above everything... Oh, I mean, he's literally above everything.
He's like 7 to 8 or something.
But like, you can't hear the commotion. You don't even look back.
Here's the thing.
And in the video as well, you can hear someone... It's so hilarious. It's just douches everywhere. But you can hear someone screaming, "Don't you know who that is? That's Britney Spears."
And then someone else is like, "Don't you know who that is? That's Wemby." For context, the basketball player as well, I don't know, like, it's not LeBron James, right? But he was this year's first overall pick. Is a kid called Wemby. So I don't know, like maybe they're hyper, making sure, like, what if she injured him and then...
Yeah, but then he also said, like, she grabbed me from behind. She didn't grab you.
They all need
she
to
didn't
calm
grab
down.
you.
They all need to calm down.
It's just idiots everywhere.
I bet that police
everyone's an
officer's
idiot.
taking everyone's witness reports like, this is a tough case because everyone is lying out of their minds.
Oh, and then I also saw, I can't remember who it was now, so I won't quote them. Well, like whatever. But there was a article I read about it when I was trying to find information. And they described Britney Spears as the toxic singer. Right?
Oh.
And I'm like, that's a bit wrong, right? That's because she sung a song called Toxic, so they're saying a toxic singer.
But was it the toxic singer?
No.
Oh, the toxic singer.
They just like it was a capital T,
okay.
but they didn't put quotation marks,
or at least the one.
Yeah.
I don't know what that boy does, but he does something like the one mark. I don't know. One thing I would say is whether you're Britney Spears, right, or an NBA star or whatever, you have to get over yourself. Like, you're not that important that you can just grab someone and be like, oh, no, you are going to take a picture of me because I'm Britney Spears, right? Maybe he didn't want to anyway. It's like the, is it Seinfeld?
Seinfeld is the one with I can't remember who it is, the pop artist that runs up to him.
Runs up to him.
Yeah,
he's like, oh, can I have a hug? And he's like, no, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, I love that video.
And he doesn't know who she is at all.
Yeah.
But she needed to realise in that moment, you're not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, unless someone knows who you are, you're not a big deal. Maybe Taylor Swift can do what she wants, right? Maybe. But even then, you know, some people won't care. And you can't just assume that everyone wants to take a picture of you because you're Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? A picture with Britney Spears for me would mean nothing. If she came up to me and was like, can I have a picture of you? No. I don't want to. Unless I looked really good that day. And I was like, yeah, I'm vibing a picture.
But moving on from that.
Yeah.
Talking about Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Right? Like, these are all nothing news articles, by the way. It's just,
not a lot.
We got to talk about something.
We have a section.
Right. Taylor Swift has just changed the lyrics to one of her songs, her early songs, because they were problematic.
Can we talk about it?
How do you feel about that?
I think it's
just
dumb.
In general.
I think it's dumb.
Like, it's so dumb, right? It's just
and
it wasn't even bad. It wasn't even bad. Like, I haven't written down what the lyrics were, but it was something about basically insinuating. It was about a song where another girl sleeps with her boyfriend.
Okay.
Right. And basically in the song, there's a line where she says she does her best work on her back on a mattress.
Okay.
That's it. Right? That's not that bad.
God, Cardi B must be sweating right now.
That's not that bad, right? Compared to what's going on there. But she's changed it because they were problematic, like insert quotation marks.
She changed.
But I just think
I've got
stupid.
I've got the actual words as well. She's better known for the things that she does on the mattress was the old one, and now she's changed it to he was a moth to a flame. She was holding the matches.
Yeah,
good lyric, but
it's fine. But I just leave it.
Yeah, it doesn't
like.
Matter.
It's not like you were dropping the N-word in there or something. Like...
No, that was on the album Red. Was the N-word she dropped?
No, we can't say that.
No, it's fine. She doesn't watch. No,
yeah, but her lawyers might.
Her lawyers might. She has a lot of them. She has so many lawyers.
And an army of simps.
I think it's rough because, and I've always said Taylor Swift, her earlier stuff I really like. Like her country pop is very, very good. Not a fan now. She's not for me. She's not for people that want country pop.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
She's huge. But like when you start changing your lyrics,
I just don't know how I feel about that. Just leave it.
It's weak.
Just leave it. That's your art that you made, and it's now. I always say, like, I know it's not public domain, right? Obviously, but when you release a song and you're big and people love your song, it kind of becomes public domain, right? You have the financial rights to that song, but you now don't own that song. That's just out there, right?
Yeah, it's been people's wedding songs.
Yeah, exactly.
I get what you're
saying.
So
at that stage, right, you can't change an audience of people that are going to sing the old lyrics. So just leave it. Like, just leave it alone. It's so weird to sort of start going back and chopping up your music and stuff.
I do agree.
Okay.
A rare time where I definitely do agree with you. I also, there's a part of me...
rare time?
I don't know. It felt right to say. I think the issue is, and I see it all the time, that you'll see someone's like, Friends is now offensive. We look back and it's offensive.
Even get me started
or anything, right? And musicians and actors and people that are in interviews, we found this thing. But as soon as you're like, oh yeah, sorry, and you as soon as you try to appease that group, it doesn't work, because then you're a target, right? And I've seen it a load of times of people that come up and, oh yeah, I'm going to change, I'm going to be better, and then it's like, okay, what can we find on this person now? Because that group that group that is pushing for the right thing isn't pushing for the right thing. They just want to be better than people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now, like, don't get me wrong, as a society and as a group, we would be careful what we say. There are words that we're like, we won't say that in case it hurts someone's feelings.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about a song you wrote that's like, whoa, someone might... No, get over yourself. Just release it. It's art. It's expression. It's important. Do you know what I mean? There are rappers that talk about... I can't even say lyrics that the rappers are talking about.
Well, it's like...
crimes.
You know, like... I absolutely despise that... What's the rapper that does WAP?
Is it a rapper?
I don't know. The artist that does WAP.
I don't know.
Everyone loves maybe. But I think that song is just the most stupid song.
B.
Like it's pathetic. It's a loser song, right? Mm-hmm. But I would never like be on the side of like we need to get that off and like she shouldn't be able to make that sort of music.
Although
there are other
So that's the one that used to I can't say.
Oh, that's the one that used to
she'd hook up with guys and then would give them substances that they don't want to knock them out so she can rob them.
I don't even know how you can
say... Here's the thing though, she's still on the radio and she's a hero to everyone. So I don't understand what the problem is.
I think people say the word grape a lot now.
Was she graping though?
I don't know if you can say graping.
It's tricky. It is tricky. It's hard to know what you can say.
I feel like I'm in China.
I think she was... I don't know.
A bad person. She was a very bad person doing very bad things that normally put people in prison.
Yeah, she committed crimes and everyone's like,
what I'm saying is that, like, you know, in terms of like freedom of expression,
so going back to WAP,
her songs like it's fine.
Sure,
it's not a problem. But that's what I'm saying. It's like it's out there. Just make your music. It's fine.
Maybe don't have it on the radio. You know, if I'm driving in a few years, and Max has to be
that's
Daddy.
The difference. That's the difference. When you're listening to like Radio 1 at like 11 in the morning, right, and then WAP comes on, I'm like, what are we doing here? What is going on?
What's a wet app? Don't worry about it.
Like we have the Watershed on TV where you can't say certain words or certain topics, whatever, before 9 o'clock. But yet, for somehow you can just play whatever you want on the radio.
More importantly, though, it doesn't matter about censorship like that because the internet exists. Kids will have YouTube. Listening to music,
sure. But then the point is that if you're a responsible parent and you've got the right parent locks and stuff, and you're actually doing everything you can to make sure your children aren't exposed to certain stuff on the web, then you shouldn't have to worry about it. Just sat in the car listening to like BBC.
Agree. I do agree with that. Yeah.
Like that's my counter argument to that. But anyway, yeah. So that
this is good. This is like, do you know what I feel like? It's like we're fishing for things to put in our thumbnail. And so far we've. Whoa! I don't know if that's on the mic. It sounds amazing. So far we've got Cardi B and we got Taylor Swift. We've caught them. Oh, and Britney.
I wish there was something about Lizzo, but there isn't.
I'm glad there's not.
Beyonce has cancelled a gig, right?
Okay.
Weird reasons, for logistical reasons.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's really odd.
That's odd, isn't it?
Do you know more?
No, I didn't.
Have they said more though, or is this a
no,
bit
Beyonce has not released a statement.
Who did we cover a few weeks ago? Is it 30 Seconds to Mars when they didn't play a song and then they were really washy about what it was?
Yeah. No, Beyonce, as of this morning, hasn't commented on it. But I just thought it was a weird reason. I've not heard of logistical reasons. All I can imagine is like maybe some of her equipment got delayed because I think she's on a European tour. So I think she's come from Stockholm, I think, maybe, going somewhere. So all I can guess is that maybe like some of her equipment got like, I don't know, delayed or something. But I just thought it was odd. I thought it was crazy. I've not heard of a logistical reason for people pulling out of gigs.
The Guardian Nigeria say...
Can I just... This is a great point, right? Can I just say, because my research, right, to do a podcast, to see what's happening in the music world, is I scan through, right, about
music news.
7 or 8 music news Twitter profiles, right? They're awful. They're awful. Yeah. No one reads them. It's like every article has like maximum 4 likes, right? I don't know who is making them, but there is a big gap there's a niche in the market.
Well, let's fill it.
Music news.
We'll cover what other people do, and then we'll be the ones.
But here's the thing: I then don't know how to find out the news.
How is the Guardian Nigeria and website Koimoi?
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. It's like when you're trying to figure out who's profiteering in certain sort of scenarios. I don't know what you can say.
You can't say.
But when you follow the trail backwards and see where it goes.
Yeah.
Right. Every single one of these Twitter profiles are just copying news from someone else.
Yeah.
And then you go to that thing and they're just copying an article from someone else. And eventually you get the person who knows or whatever is in the industry. But they're all just copying from each other.
So what's been said is it's been cancelled due to production logistics and scheduling issues. What I imagine has happened is that the dates were too close and they've not been able to fly bits of stage or whatever it is over.
Is that not just a little bit of shoddy planning
there,
though, from
definitely.
Someone on her team, a production manager.
It's also these gigs that are happening, Beyonce, and I'll say right now,
they're proper productions.
Huge.
Huge.
But
like
also,
Pink, do you know what I mean? With Pink nowadays, I imagine they have to rock up a week before her gig to set up her bloody trapezium.
It's insane. Yeah. Can we throw this person across the stadium? But what I was also going to say is they are huge at the moment. Like post-COVID, there was a little wobble where it's like people couldn't go to gigs, and now people are going to gigs. I saw a video, and I'm really not a big Beyonce fan. Obviously, I have so much respect for what she's done, but
I'm scared of the All the Single Ladies music video.
Are you?
Yeah, it freaks me out.
It is weird.
I'm actually scared of it. Like her hip movements.
Yeah,
they scare me.
She looks like when you play like one of those cheap horror games on the PC, and there's always something that's like some gangly thing that moves a bit unnatural.
And don't get me wrong, right? I'm not kind of bad mouthing that video. It's a great video.
It's a good video.
The choreography, she can dance like no one else I know, right? That does that. But it scares the bejesus out of me.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's freaky.
But what I was saying is, I saw a video of the show and people are just worshipping her. I think it was in Scotland or something. Mm-hmm. One of her dates, and someone filmed it, and it was just that reaction of like, Jesus, is every single person is singing at the top of their voice to Beyonce.
Yeah, I imagine
it was crazy.
I imagine I'm not really a Beyonce fan, but I imagine if I found myself at one of her concerts, I'd probably just have a good time anyway, just because of the energy.
I don't think you would.
Yeah, probably not.
I think you'd be
trying to be nice, dude.
No, because here's the problem: you'd be surrounded by people that know the song, and you won't know the song.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, and you're like, okay, cool. I can't. Beyonce singing it. It's us at a Kings of Leon gig, is what it is. So that's super interesting, though. I'm sure they'll have to look into what the hell is going on there,
because that can't happen. I mean, I think they've stated that everyone will get like a full refund and stuff, but
that's the problem though.
So I think the problem for me is that refunds get real tricky with stuff like this, right? Because of resales and all that sort of stuff. But it's also not the point, because some people, right, they probably waited 5 years of their life to see Beyonce, right, and then she's coming to a place near where they can get tickets. They've saved up or for however long to get this ticket.
They've queued
and
on loads of laptops.
Yeah, exactly. And then now all of a sudden the concert's not happening. So the refund is not the problem. The problem is the investment of time and resources that people have spent. And then when is she going to play again? Do you know what I mean? It's not always work. It doesn't always work out like that. So I think that needs to be looked at, because when you're as big as Beyonce, you can't have scheduling clashes and logistical problems that mean you can't play.
Yeah,
that's
agreed.
not on at all.
Agree.
Unacceptable.
Because it's the top level of performance, right? If you're going to see us, we're on tour, right? Maybe a van will break down, right? But when it's
big whoop,
when it's like
we phone up the management of the venue, and we're like, we're really sorry, we're not going to be able to make it, and they're like, who are you?
Oh, we double booked anyway. We've got bands playing currently, but yeah. So I don't know. It's weird to happen at that level.
Yeah,
you got more?
Yeah. So a French festival has just happened on Thursday, right?
How dare they?
And Blur were scheduled to play. They had to pull out because their drummer injured his knee. So Dave Roundtree, his name is, injured his knee. So they couldn't perform, right? Tragic, it happens, but they've got big concerts at Wembley this weekend, which they have confirmed they're doing. So they had to pull out to make sure he was okay for those Wembley festivals. Tragic, it happens. The festival then announced that they were going to replace Blur with Royal Blood. Woo!
Really? Yeah. I've been told they're very good at filling in for festivals where people
it
aren't
seems like it.
them.
It seems like that's the only gigs they play. B.
Do you know what though? Maybe the bookers were like, they're the only band they could. They're like, what band would just take a gig where people aren't going to like it?
Yeah, that's the thing.
The
question is though, is like surely they must have seen the backlash that they got after they decided the crowd wasn't good enough for them at bloody whatever festival it was.
Yeah.
But it just seems like a weird choice. But I've followed it up. I've had a look. There doesn't seem to be any backlash about their performance, so I guess it went well.
I think they've probably learned a lesson.
Probably.
They did I
also think that festival, like going in place of Blur is a lot closer to that style of music than they were at that other. Yeah.
Also, shout out for saying Royal Blood. You always say Royal Blood.
Yeah, I know. I checked it. Well, I kind of did it in bold letters, so I wouldn't say it because I keep messing up. But I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. They get a bit of redemption. Funny. It seems like it's gone well. Seems like it went well. People
the
seem
French
to
can have
enjoy
it.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Yeah. I also wanted to touch on Springsteen and Billy Joel just performed at Hyde Park, right? And I'm just like, those guys are legends.
Yeah.
They're still knocking out great shows.
Yeah, I bet Bruce Springsteen's still amazing.
Bruce Springsteen allegedly played for 3 hours.
What? That's crazy.
That's what I read. He played for 3 hours at Hyde Park. And there's some videos of him performing. Great stuff. And then Billy Joel again as well, out there at Hyde Park. It seemed really good. The crowd loved it. And I was like, that's good. Because I think my point is there's a lot of artists that, it's kind of bad to say, but you feel like they're just holding on too long to the limelight. They really need to hang up their microphones and just stop because they just can't perform anymore.
A part of it is like, don't let this be the memory.
Yeah. Like, how bad would it be if you go to see like I don't know, Guns N' Roses, and you know Axl is like struggling like mad to get the vocals out,
which is close.
Which is he's. That's one of the things people meme about over the last sort of like 5 years of seeing Guns N' Roses. And that's not a good way to sort of go out. Although I did see as well, there is a clip of Guns N' Roses performing and he falls over on stage, like mid vocals. Oh. And he bounces straight back up, carries on singing, doesn't miss a beat. He has a little laugh.
Crazy.
Good stuff.
Well, because they just played Glastonbury, and I was going to talk about them and Elton John. I think fall into this category where Elton John, I think, put on an amazing show. People loved it, but he's close now. He's very, very close.
The most watched Glastonbury performance ever.
Sure, fair enough. Makes sense. I don't. There's something about Elton John I don't like. I don't know why. I think it's
there's nothing
amazing.
about him.
There's something. About Elton John I don't like.
Don't particularly like him as a person because I think he's a bit.
Yeah.
Up his own ass.
But then you can't. Do you have to be
I
suppose, headline Glastonbury?
But then I also think when you're Elton John, it's probably hard not to be up your own ass a little bit. I mean, he's huge.
Is that a gay joke?
No. Well, you made it bad, B. I wasn't.
Getting gaslighting me. That's going to be at the front of the video as well. It won't be at the front of the podcast.
I don't think he would mind. Have you heard the story of him getting David Beckham for his like wedding anniversary? He got him like a diamond cock ring. Okay,
not David Beckham. Good story though. Eminem.
It was Eminem. Oh yeah, because at the time Eminem was like
everyone was saying that he
under
was
hot water because he was homophobic. Yeah. And then they sung "Stand" together on stage. It was great. But yeah, no, he was smashing it. Old timers, and I think like. Because we've spoken before about how Elton John has done a lot of really bad performances, but his Glastonbury one seemed fine.
I watched a clip. It was fine. Absolutely.
Like I'm guessing he probably just saved up every single ounce of vocal strength he has.
We've played it on the podcast. It's the Garden one he did during lockdown was one of the worst things I've ever heard.
It was bad. It was like a bad karaoke.
It was like someone trying to be Randy Newman but not quite getting it. It was really not good.
I also heard as well, apparently, from the moment he finished his set on Glastonbury, right, to the moment he was at home in bed was something like 22 minutes or something.
Yeah, which is awesome. It was a helicopter when he
got shot off in it. He literally walked off stage straight into a helicopter, flew. Like apparently it took longer to get from the like main stage at Glastonbury to the like gate to leave the main stage at Glastonbury.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's really good. It's funny because I've done it on like the 1% of that scale of I played a gig or a festival in the Isle of Wight and I was playing 2 stages and our times were like right next to each other and the organisers were like, we'll sort it out, we'll help you. And I remember finishing the set and then I was speaking to people at the front row and it was like, this was the biggest gig I ever played. It was like tent full of people. So I was speaking to people at the front row.
It was like 10
it was like
people.
10 people. It was like, no, it was like, what happened was we were the first live band to play. So we played on the Thursday. So we were the start of live music. But I remember finishing it and a guy came up and was like, are you Rob? Like one of the security guys was like, are you Rob? I was like, yeah. He was like, okay, we need to go. And I like my ex-girlfriend at the time climbed over the gate and then we were like put in the back of a Jeep and they closed all of the paths and then we were driving through the festival. It was the coolest thing ever. I like to think of what Elton John's was like there. That was probably like a presidential, is it a blockade?
Yeah.
Where it was all the cars. But no, good for him.
Yeah, so I thought I'd touch on that. It's good to see the old timers putting on good shows.
Springsteen,
and also just killing it. Well, yeah. Springsteen is notorious for like being, well, he's the boss.
Yeah,
like he always puts on a good show. And I've heard about him doing like ridiculously long shows and stuff. But yeah, apparently 3 hours at Hyde Park, mental.
I could not play for 3 hours. I would say now I could not play for 3 hours.
I mean, you do like a 45-minute gig, and at the end of it, you're absolutely
your back is done.
Yeah, you're exhausted and you're sweating. But yeah, cool. And then I wanted to touch on this because I saw it today. Whoa! Who turned up the lights?
Your camera's gone dark, man. Okay, let's stay.
Has that been like that the whole thing? No, it wasn't like that earlier.
I went on it earlier and I was like, that looks a bit dark, and now it's mental. I don't know what's happened there. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so I haven't seen this. You can't do this.
What do you mean? You can't.
Is it on me?
No.
Okay, right.
No, you're getting confused. But that's the camera, and that's just me playing with things. I'm trying to fix it.
Yeah, I haven't seen this before, but apparently it's been going on for a little while now. But there's a trend going around of people just lobbing stuff on stage.
What do you mean? A trend
like,
where?
On like TikTok and like, you know, Instagram or whatever, of people going to concerts and then throwing stuff at the artists.
I'm unaware.
I was unaware as well, but apparently it's becoming an issue. Like to the point where Adele had to recently literally address it on stage because I think she was like shooting out t-shirts with like one of those t-shirt cannon things.
Yeah.
And then she was addressing it because it's becoming a problem now. People have walked off stage mid-gig and stuff. And I can't remember now. There's an artist who now performs wearing goggles because, and it seems when you say that, it sounds ridiculous, but it's because like the prior month, someone threw a mobile phone at her on stage and cut her eyelid open, and she had to go off and get stitches.
It's crazy.
Like, what is going on? Like,
why is someone throwing a phone?
I don't know. It is crazy. And then like people throwing like, I think it's escalated because like people have started throwing bras and stuff on stage.
Yeah, well that's old school.
But that's old school. But then I think people like we now live in a world where it's just like everyone has to one up everything. Like it's not enough just to throw your bra on stage now. Now you have to throw like your phone. And it's because people have started throwing phones on stage like with the camera on, and then like the artists will pick it up and film or whatever. Even that it's just stupid to me because then like what is this achieving?
I hate that.
But then I also I think it's bad for the artists, and I know most artists are trying to just make light of the situation, but I feel like it's just encouraging people to throw their phones up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
As an artist, it's so difficult because like you see clips of people that will get shitty about it, and then the clip is like, oh, look at them. It's like, yeah, but if they're playing and bottles and phones and things that could genuinely like cut them, injure them, are flying past them, like what is that environment?
Yeah,
they're there to celebrate their music and perform it for you.
Well, and it's also I think people don't think enough about how that could potentially that one act of her getting hit in the face, right, and her eye getting cut open and having stitches, that could have been enough for her to be like, I'm done. I'm
not going to tour.
I'm not going to perform anymore.
100%.
Because that's scary. Because then you do think like, well, what if that was something like that could have like killed me or something?
Yeah. Or it will go old school, and it'll be like, okay, I am going to tour now, but you're going to be stood here. There's going to be a big old gap, and then I'm going to be on stage. So you'll be because that's, I think, the challenge as the music industry has switched to being live show driven.
Yeah.
It's not about selling albums; it's about selling tickets now. So it's how can we get a performance? Okay, and you see it, Coldplay, Taylor Swift, Beyonce will have runways. They'll have different stages to get close to them. That will stop.
Yeah,
like, that will stop. If Beyonce's going, okay, I need to play 400 shows in 2 years or whatever it is, something mental. Actually, it's probably more than that. But hundreds and hundreds of shows a year, they can't risk it. Like, they can't risk, oh, okay, on show one of this, $1 billion tour that we're putting on, someone could hit me in the head and then I'm out for a few weeks. It's mental. People need to stop. But I mean, we've spoken about that concerts are getting gross now. Concerts are becoming something else.
It's not a fun place to go now. A concert, I don't think. Well,
like
for
big,
the most,
like a big one.
Yeah, a big one. For the most part, it's almost like a hostile environment in a lot of places now. It's like, what is going on here? Like,
yeah.
You almost feel like no one is here to actually just listen to music and have a good time. Now it's like it's an event, and it's like I have to get something from this event or something. Or like I have to do something that sets me apart from everyone else at this concert.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, you just be at the concert. Just have a good time, you idiot. But it's like I saw a video of someone like throwing a beer in Harry Styles' face. And I'm like, and Harry Styles, he plays it off because he's a professional, right? And he doesn't want that act to ruin the show.
Yeah.
Right? But the problem is I then feel like the security didn't do anything.
Yeah, he should be gone.
He should be
someone should have grabbed
dragged,
that guy.
Yeah, he should have been dragged out immediately and like banished and charged, criminal charges.
And also, let's go football here.
Because
you can't go to gigs now. You can't go to any gigs.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I thought. Because if you do that, if you run on the pitch and attack a player, right, or lob something onto the field, if they catch you at football, you are now banned from every single stadium in the country.
Yeah.
Like, you want to go and watch a League One game, you can't. You're banned. Your face will be like on a board of people that security will be looking out for, and also your name and details will be there, so when you buy you just won't be able to buy a ticket, right? Same needs to happen 100%. But the fact that security didn't do anything is ridiculous, and because Harry Styles plays it off because he doesn't want that event to ruin the show, he actually like gets him and like pours water on his head, like jokingly or whatever, and then I think he mentions it afterwards a little bit more seriously, but not in a like massive like this is going to end the show sort of way. But the problem is I feel like that has done nothing to stop other arseholes that want attention to just start lobbing beers at people.
Well, now people are like, oh, if I hit him with a beer, he'll pour water over my head. And then I can say Harry Styles. And I've said before, not a massive fan of Harry Styles' music, massive fan of how he operates. I think he's a great guy.
He seems like he's pretty switched on.
He doesn't fans a good experience.
He doesn't seem like egotistical. It doesn't seem like he's one of those regular celebrities that is above everyone or whatever.
Yeah, just a cool dude.
Yeah.
He really seems like a cool dude. But again, like, he doesn't. No one deserves a pint.
Yeah, it's like people will sit there and be like, "Oh, calm down. It's only a pint. It's it's part of well, it's not a pint because one, right? Well, okay, what if that drink you've just thrown on it gets into his electrics or whatever, and then now all of a sudden his mic doesn't work, and now there's like a 10-minute delay because they've got to sort out some technical issue. Two, right? I don't think people understand stuff like that. Just it puts you on edge.
Yeah, for sure.
It puts you on, even if it's just even if you throw a teddy bear on stage, right, and it smashes the artist in the face. Yeah, it's not going to cause them any damage whatsoever. Yeah. They're in no physical damage.
It will take
but
them
it takes them out of the moment.
Yeah.
It puts you in shock. You're now on tiptoes, and you then have to sort of perform and put on a show. It's not good. I don't know what people are doing.
Yeah.
Stop fucking throwing stuff on stage.
Agree completely.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Or get the interaction first, as in, like, if you had a sign saying Harry Styles, can you take a video on my phone, and he goes, yeah, give me your phone. Different.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's good. But when it's I'm going to pelt him with my iPhone X or whatever, yeah, I don't know. It's mental. But
yeah, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm not seeing the backside of these stories, but it just seems like nothing is happening to protect artists, but then also to protect the audience from having a show disrupted by these idiots, these losers that want attention, because I don't see them getting dragged out of the crowd and getting banned from concerts or whatever. I don't see them facing criminal charges.
They should be.
Like, they may be, but I don't see that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not seeing that, and if I'm not seeing it,
it's not deterring.
Then I'm not getting deterred to stop throwing stuff on stage.
Yeah, agreed. This is really scaled back from that, but I saw, obviously, we've been to Coldplay a few times. There's always one song where Chris Martin will be like, "Okay, let's have a genuine concert experience here," and everyone put their phones away.
Yeah,
he's like, "We'll film
Good
it."
Stuff.
That's lightning.
Yeah, okay. Thunderbolt and lightning.
Exciting.
Very frightening.
He'll always say, "Everyone put your phones away." And I saw one TikTok of someone filming him saying that, and he was front row filming like this, and then he does the bit, "Everyone put your phone away. No phones. Let's experience eye contact. Let's look at each other."
Yeah, it's good stuff.
This guy keeps filming, and you see Chris Martin's looking, and he's speaking.
I think I've seen it.
And he sees the guy, and he's like, "My brother, please just put your phone away." And he does stop recording, but I'm like, why didn't you?
Yeah.
Why did you go, "I'm the person that's just going to film this moment"? The moment is no phones. Put your phone away.
Yeah, and the funny thing is as well is that, like, he said it when we went to see him, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same point that we've made in previous. Well, I had a big rant about how if you film at a concert, I think you're in the bottom percentage of humanity.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
That's just my opinion. Can agree with it or disagree with it. It doesn't matter. But we've already talked about how no one gives a flying fuck about your crappy fucking portrait video that you filmed on your crappy iPhone that has terrible audio and terrible visual because you're in a black arena, right?
Yeah.
But Chris Martin said it best when we saw him, which was like, trust me, we're filming it.
Yeah.
We're filming it in 4K. We're filming it.
Cranes.
We're filming the audio. Like, it will go straight into, so it's not even picking up the
crowd ambience.
Yeah, like, it's not like the ambience of it. It's literally the audio is going directly into that sort of input. So the film,
with mics to pick up the ambience.
Yeah,
with good mics.
Exactly.
Will pick up the
exactly.
crowd.
So it sounds phenomenal. You'll have the best video ever, and you can share that, and you can be like, "Look at this concert I was at," instead of the poxy portrait video of like shaking with people's hands in front of the camera with terrible audio. That when you show it to your friends, you get this reaction. I was trying to think. Inside, they're like, "I don't care. I don't care."
And also, you're showing them 2 seconds, right? And then you have an hour and a half of footage that no one will ever watch. Yeah. And we've done it before. We've seen you on TikTok saying, "Yeah, but I have a bad memory." Shut the fuck up, right? You don't have a bad memory. You just, I guarantee you don't watch those videos. It's just
an excuse.
Or what you mean by bad memory is you flick through and then you get this block of videos from all of these shitty little videos you've taken at a gig and you go, "Oh yeah, I went and saw Harry Styles." You don't then listen to it because it's pointless. I can't remember. I was trying to think of the comedian. I saw a TikTok for 4th of July. A real big comedian on TikTok did a sketch where they go up to someone and like, "Hey, by any chance, did you film last year's firework display?" And it's like POV, the thing that you think will happen will never happen. They're like, yeah, I did. And he's like, "Oh my God, thank God. I was trying to remember what it looked like." And he's like sat going, "Yeah, fireworks." It's like, it's not going to happen. Anyway, is that that's a good little news bulletin update?
Amount of news. There are lots and lots of stuff. As I've described, when I do my research, I go through the most awful Twitter pages, and 90% of what I'm scrolling through is nonsense. Absolute dribble.
The news
bottom
articles,
of the barrel. I'm like, who the hell is writing this article?
And they'll be like, the news articles will be like, "BTS announce they would love to record with Kesha," and you're like, is that news?
What was the one I told you before we started filming as a joke? It was I think it was Pink wishes she had written Baby Shark.
Yeah.
That's an article.
Really?
That's a full article. If you want, I can pop the link in the description below. You can read a full article about how Pink wishes she had written Baby Shark.
Isn't it? And you know what's crazy about that? Isn't it crazy to wish that you wrote one of the most commercially successful songs ever?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I wish I'd written EastEnders.
Yeah.
Or Bob the Builder.
Dumb idiot. Go throw yourself off a trapeze.
Trapeze! No, Pink. With a safety net.
With a safety net and a harness. YouTube, she's wearing a harness.
We might have to beep that out. No, you might have to beep it out.
No,
we can't take that risk. We already got last week's episode.
I'm not bleeping it. I'm not bleeping it.
Not even a blop?
I'll blop it. Should we listen to music?
Yeah.
We got 2 bands. I accidentally spun the wheel a second ago, but we're going to listen to the first band is Wulf Monroe.
Wulf Monroe
from Dublin, Ireland.
Dublin. See, look, Dublin Ireland.
And they did Dublin, Ireland. Yeah, I'm very, very.
Is there a Dublin in America?
Probably New Dublin. Dublin, USA. Yeah, it's a city in Ohio.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason I asked, just in case you're wondering, is because obviously we colonized America, and you'll find pretty much every single town, city, place in America is named after somewhere in the UK.
Yeah, New Hampshire is named after Hampshire.
Yeah.
That's in the UK. I'm also going to shout out what's happened here is the weather went from. I'm wearing shorts today because I left the house sunny.
Here's the thing, though.
I drove in
rain.
The thing.
Still quite warm.
Still warm, but the weather's gone terrible, and it means there is no sun, so it's gone really dark. You can see the glow of the laptop, and we need to get light in.
Yeah.
Do you know how we would get light in?
Well, the thing is, normally it's not like this, though.
No. Well, I was doing a thing, though. Do you know how we would afford... Look how dark I am, mate. And what would be better is if you go on to indianashow.com and buy yourself a T-shirt.
Oh, B, why are we so out of sync now?
And a mug. We'll be all right, I reckon. What bit is? All of the cameras are moving at different speeds. So if you buy yourself a T-shirt and a mug... the mug is good, it's fine, but the T-shirt, this is my favourite T-shirt I own, not because of the logo, but because of the comfort. It's good quality on the T-shirt. So yeah, indianashow.com, use code BEANS for 15% off. I'm not going to cut to that because it's not in the store, B. They can't buy that. Also, your mug is quite cool. Again, not available at indianashow.com. But yeah, you had a cool mug. Little Stanley cup.
It's Stanley on a cup, which means it's the Stanley Cup.
And it's like the Holy Cup there, which the Stanley Cup is the Holy Cup. Yeah. Indianashow.com for merch and mugs and hoodies and things. There's good stuff on it.
Designer clothes.
All of the feedback's been really good. But yeah, if you get the ones that are like a bit greyed out, like multi-coloured on the thing.
They feel better. They feel nice. Soft. I don't know what it is. I can't describe it.
Get more of them.
It's like it's a pleasing feel.
It's not that like the
cheap
typical cheap
PE T-shirt.
Anyway,
that you get at school.
That's the plug. If 5 or 6 more of you do that, we'll get some fancy lights, and then when the weather goes bad, it won't fuck our cameras up, which is mental. Anyway, back to Wulf Monroe.
Wulf Monroe, Dublin,
Ireland. What are you expecting?
Wulf Monroe. See, look, this is.
You're gonna say like
it's hard. No, I
penny
think it's
whistles.
No.
You know what I mean?
Singing about Guinness.
Yeah. That would be cool. One of those. My spirits are low, so pour me another drink.
See, this is what I think of those. Like, what's the song that the guy from the Hosiers sings?
No. We do this every time we do this. Right. The guy isn't from the Hoosiers.
The Hoosiers?
The guy is Hosier.
Oh, yeah. I just think it's about... He plays with a band.
I know. No, you've told me before, you're like, I saw this video of the guy from the Hoosiers.
That Irish, folk
Hosier
song he sings.
Yeah.
Like, every once in a while, just listen to that. It's great.
Here's a fiddle, and here's a fiddle. It's so, like, pleasant. And,
yeah. But I think this is going to be rap.
Rap? Wulf Monroe.
I think Wulf Monroe is kind of rapping.
Here's a clue,
sort of name.
Not a clue, but here's something an observation on their Spotify. Some of their songs, not the one we're listening to. We're listening to Psycho Psych, even though I think they've had songs more recently, but that's the one they submitted. They're doing a thing where they spell the name backwards, so all the characters are backwards. So it'll be like the word horror, but it'll be like ROH. Did that spell horror? Maybe backwards words. So I don't know. I think for me, backwards words, I'd go metal. And they're doing a font. The font is interesting on them.
Okay.
Let's see. They've asked for 136. This is Psycho Psych by Wulf Monroe from Dublin, Ireland. I'm just going to skip. 136.
Baby, don't you know that lately I've been searching for my soul and the devil in my head, and he meddles with my motive. Don't you know that you're exactly why I got my fast feet glued to the floor, to the floor, to the floor. This kid is a time bomb. Tick, 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 tick. some time off. This kid is a time bomb. Take some time off.
There's a little 30-second.
I like it. We were both wrong, but
I really like the sound.
It's good. It's kind of a. Do you know what? It's kind of a little bit of like late Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah.
Not early, but not like late as in like some of the dribble they put out now.
Mm-hmm.
But like that middle area where it's a bit more artsy.
Yeah.
Crossed with maybe Gorillaz.
Yeah, we said last week someone was Gorillaz-y, but
it is. I think Gorillaz like influenced a lot of people.
I loved the different vocals. Yeah. I loved that there was like a singing vocal. There's like almost a spoken word feel. I love that change though, because the dynamic is so interesting.
Yeah,
and we speak about like when I write a song now, and I listen back to it, I'm always like, what part do I get bored at? Where am I like, okay, I've got bored here, and that wouldn't happen because they're changing it up. There's all of these different sounds and layers. It sounded really, really good.
Yeah,
it's such a good submission.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say about it. It was just good. It was clean.
There's definitely really no constructive feedback.
Really well produced. Pretty much doing everything you'd want to hear.
It sounded, and this, I need to be clear. So this is one of my, not a claim to fame at all, but the people I went to college with who then got big, Wet Leg. A little bit wet leggy, apart from it was sensical. It wasn't nonsense.
You've just reminded me of a bit of the news that I didn't think was like that newsworthy, but I'll mention it because it's relevant now.
Okay.
So Wet Leg, right, the drummer, right, apparently was dating like the lead singer or maybe the other girl. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
They broke up.
Okay.
He left the band.
Right.
He's now claiming that he should get writing credits on 2 of the songs. And that he came up with the name.
Really? Well, I don't know what that means.
I don't know. I don't know what
name. I don't know.
That's what I mean. Well, I think he should get credited for the name, but I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Like, okay. You came up with a name.
I don't know what it means.
What does he want? Does he want like, I'm Wet Leg now?
But I think he definitely wants. I
don't know them.
He wants writing credits though for 2 of the songs. I think they're like the 2 biggest songs.
Well,
but then I'm like, I don't know how that works. How do you work?
If he can prove it.
How do you prove it?
If he can prove it.
And he's a drummer.
And I don't know how he would prove it. And
I don't know how a drummer claims that they have writing there. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking because I was just hearing in their head. So if people don't know Wet Leg, they're a band that have got popular in the UK. They're touring with Harry Styles, or they were touring with Harry Styles. They've had, I think, a #1 album now. I'm pretty sure that song went #1. A bunch of awards.
But I've never heard any of their other songs. I've only ever heard that
They have
one
a
song.
few that got kind of big. There's one called Wet Dream, and Harry Styles did it in Live Lounge, and it sounded cool. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll like this song. And I listened to their version of Wet Dream, and I was like, I don't know. But they're lovely people. They're the nicest people ever. But that's very interesting. Yeah, he'll just have to like for example, our band. How would any of you prove that you wrote, like, okay, I wrote this part?
And this is
I don't know if you'd be able to.
The thing is, I feel like there's always moments when we're in rehearsals, whatever, when we're putting a song together, where people might come up with like slightly different variations of like, I don't know, a lick or some sort of rhythm or whatever. That goes, oh, this sounds good. What do you think of this?
Yeah.
But then would you then class that as writing credits on a song?
For sure.
I don't know.
Guess, and a good example is the start of the band was me writing all the parts.
Yeah.
So, for example, the first track on our EP, I wrote everything. You now don't play what I wrote.
Yeah, because there's bits that I've done different.
Some of it you do, because that was a fundamental part. And then there's a breakdown and you've changed it.
So this is the thing as well. There's things that you didn't write at all that I've just added into the song. But then I wouldn't say I should have writing credits on that song. In the same way that... Because I think the grey area is if you take your albums to get recorded, right, and you've got a producer there, that producer is going to constantly be coming up with different things and be like, I think this is missing this, and I think we should add this, or I think this would benefit like a piano playing in the background or whatever. And he himself might just play something, right?
Yeah.
Does the producer then get writing credits?
Yeah. Well, and I guess so maybe the learn here is have this conversation.
Yeah.
I think on our WhatsApp group, for example, in the band, I think we've already been like, this is how we should split it. And I think we've got that defined. But maybe we need to have that again and go, let's write it down. Let's save it on our we have a Google Drive where we share ideas and calendars and things like that. Maybe that's what we need, is just an agreement of like, for example, gigs, we just split. Or the money goes in, like sometimes it'll be like, oh, you got £60 for this show. So the money goes into a pot and then that can pay for rehearsals or it can pay for whatever. Other times, if you get a big chunk, we'll just split it, like, because we're all performing together. But writing songs is different, but kind of isn't. Like, from my attitude is, if I went to the studio and I recorded all of these songs and then brought you in and went, here are the songs we're playing, that would be very different than you spend years as a band playing them, perfecting them, rehearsing them, refining them, changing parts, you know, changing structures, which Arash, our drummer, has done. But yeah, maybe just define that now.
Yeah, because
if you're in a band, have this conversation today.
Well, yeah, and I think that is what most bands do, right? And that's what sets bands apart from like music projects that are maybe one person.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, you could be like, Hosier, I don't know how they operate, but that could be a situation where it's his music, it's his songs.
Hosier.
Right? Hosier. I'm terrible at names. Hosier. It might be a situation where he writes the music, it's his songs, he doesn't want any input, he just wants people to play his music, right? But then on the flip side of that, you'd probably say most bands, right, like, I don't know, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Kings of Leon, whatever, they have someone that writes the music, right? It might just be one person that does all of the heavy lifting, but like I said, at one point they will all be in the studio and they'll all be making changes and coming up with different things, or debating and arguing over what sounds best.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Sure.
So it is a weird thing.
Just define it when it's good, so you don't have to fight it when it's bad. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Define it and go, okay, as a band, I also,
you can't really have much sympathy for him, because in the article I read, he says that he's too scared to bring up the subject. And I'm like, I don't know what you. I don't know. I don't know what this article is.
Yeah. Good luck.
I don't know what you're trying to. What, for like an exclusive?
Well, I have enough.
Ask him what he wrote.
Enough links, but I don't know them personally. I only know the two girls were the ones that went to Platform 1 music school. I don't know the other guys in the band.
I believe it. But anyway,
I don't want to either.
Great submission.
Yeah. Going back. Sorry, he's probably tuned out now. But Wulf Monroe. It's a great submission. We love it.
I like the name as well.
Wulf Monroe's cool. I went onto the Instagram. Instagram is that's Spotify. Instagram's cool. Mum on drums. That might be a staged photo.
No. I believe 100%.
Mums on drums would be a great name for a band.
It's close to Mumford and Sons.
And it's Mums on drums, and they just cover
Mumford and Sons. But should go on tour with their mums and call it Mumford and Mums.
Yeah. Look at it though, Wulf Monroe as well. Look at his Instagram. He's just good looking chap. He's gone for the Arctic Monkeys.
So I think smoking a ciggy.
He might be a little bit influenced by Arctic Monkeys, because that's very.
I did say that. I think there's a bit of his music that sounds a little bit sort of like late 2000s Arctic Monkeys.
And he has a new song called Babyface. So maybe if he comments on this YouTube video and shares it, maybe we'll just listen to that next week, because it was a good submission. Thanks, Wulf Monroe. The next one up is 1 Outta Ten. And they're from... Where are they from? I can't remember. Oh, did I not write down where they're from?
That is scandalous.
They're from... I'm just trying to guess now, looking at them. Right, I might just cut to you. So the band that we're going to listen to this week is, look at the panic on my eyes, is a 1 Outta Ten. They're from LA, California, the one and only. I would give someone if they just put LA.
Oh no, this is, we've talked about it. Yeah, there are passes, major places everyone knows.
But 1 Outta 10, LA. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking they probably don't think much of themselves.
Yes, low self-esteem.
I mean, call yourself 10 out of 10.
Taken.
Or at least like 8 out of 10.
Taken.
8 out of 10 cats does count down.
No. And 7 out of 10 was taken. They were all taken, and they had to settle with 1 out of 10.
No, because they could have been like 8.5.
Maybe they're saying like they're part of the 10%ers, I guess. Anyway, genre?
1 out of 10.
Little genre guess?
From LA. It's so hard, because that name, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Because I normally judge this primarily about the name. I'm like, what does that name feel like?
1 out of 10 for me feels like indie rock band, real not overly produced.
It could be like heavy metal though. That's the thing.
I don't
like
think
1 out of 10.
so.
Like because it kind of gives that like 9 Inch Nails sort of.
It could be rock,
sort of type thing. 1 out of 10.
What you locking in? I'll lock in indie rock.
I'm gonna go complete opposite R&B.
If this is R&B,
complete 180.
Okay, this is Friends Anyways, Friends/Anyways, which feels more like a band name than 1 out of 10. And we're gonna go to 413. Which means this is a long old song. Here we go. I wish I stayed. Maybe you and I could try to spend some time away anyway. I wish I stayed. Nothing's ever set in stone. I'd rather feel lonely than be alone anyway. I wish I stayed. We listened to so much of that.
I like it.
Apologies, I got distracted.
That's good.
Good sounding. I was really interested to start a song 4 minutes in and it start there. So I guess we came in at a breakdown. And then, because it started and I was like, has it been like this the whole time? And I guess not, because it was quite big at the end. Sounds really good.
No, I like it.
Really full sound.
I don't have... Yeah, well, and do you know what as well? It's a full sound, but it's also quite understated. Like, it's not heavy, it's not in your face. It's kind of like the lyrics are sitting on top of you know, the guitar riff.
Rift.
Not riff, but, you know, whatever, the chorus. But then also the you know, the kind of guitar solo, again, it's kind of like, it's just on top of the rhythm guitar. So it's not like massive, but it is a big sound.
It was well layered and well mixed together.
I think a lot of bands, they tend to get too excited, and it's very easy just to be like, okay, well, we're all going to play our instruments as loud as possible at this moment.
Yeah.
And then it kind of gets a bit muddy and lost, whereas that was like super clean, super like organized. It was,
I agree.
It was good. I liked it.
It was really good. Right up our street.
Yeah,
which we say basically indie, right? Because we're both indie kids, really
indie rock.
But yeah, really good. Also, I would say, and sometimes we do this, sometimes we don't, but just a little look at, you know, their Spotify, they have 444 monthly listeners. That's really good, right? For a band that's like, let's try and make it, that's awesome. This looks awesome. Like, I guess this is the album work, so it's just good album work. It all looks very consistent. And then I went onto their Instagram and it's the same, right? Like, whoever's running their Instagram's doing a great job. It's all like the text they're using is consistent. They're giving good updates. They're frequently doing it. They've got pinned posts at the top. So yeah, they're just absolutely crushing it. And then the most important part, because you can do the Instagram and you can do the Spotify, but also just the product is good.
Yeah.
Their follows, again, they clearly started their Instagram by following a shitload of people, right? They've got 476 followings. That's probably them following people to get follow backs. But now they have 1,400. So even now I would be like, just unfollow a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But it shows that healthy balance. The amount of bands that we get, and they're like, we have 8,000 followers, and you're like, okay, you're following 20,000 people. So none of those 8,000 are genuine, whereas this is people are following the band, they're listening to them on Spotify. So they're absolutely crushing it. And it is a really cool sound. I'm quite keen to listen to more because they've got really interesting
It's
sound.
a really cool sound. I was trying to sort of, in terms of influences, like who it reminds me of. And I'll say kind of like maybe like, do you know, I can't even think. There's a load of different.
For me, it feels like the Teenage Dirtbag era, but then I don't know. As in like instrumentally, because you could be like, initially I was like, well, Nickelback kind of, but Nickelback's instruments are very big.
It gave me
whereas these aren't big instruments.
A little bit of GMT vibes.
MGMT?
MGMT.
Yeah.
Not GMT.
Yeah.
Good morning.
No, that's a really good comparison.
MGMT, I think, is
that's a really vocally it was similar. The instruments were similar. I think that's a great comparison.
Yeah.
Do people globally know MGMT?
I think MGMT is global. At least the two main hits.
Yeah. That one.
Yeah,
or copyright. Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna listen to some of them when I'm driving.
It's a great album. That album is a good album.
Funnily enough, MGMT were when they made their music, they were like taking the piss out of commercial music.
Oh really?
Like they didn't believe in what they were making. They were like, "This is a sort of bullshit," and they would get a little riff like that, and they were like, "Let's just make a song around this riff and make it really basic." And then everyone was like, "More, please." And so their whole thing, I think, was almost like a joke. They were being like. It was like a joke about the industry. They made that project and then they crushed it. So
kind of confirms the joke though, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. They're like, told ya, you fucking idiots. But no, 1 out of 10. That is awesome. I love the sound. They felt like I don't know, like a real genuine band. Like someone you would go and you would support them at a show.
Yeah.
And then you listen to them and you're like, these guys are fucking good. And then you check out the music and the recording is good. Amazing. I will say to you, so thank you for the submission, 1 out of 10. Thank you for the submission, Wulf Monroe. Both of you I would rate higher than 1 out of 10. Because I thought they were both great.
At least a 2.
Yeah. I think over 8s for both.
Yeah.
I think so.
For sure. Which is at least a 2 still falls in that category.
Yeah, it is at least. We're at 1:10. 1 minute 10. Do you want another?
We'll spin the wheel, do another one.
Let's spin the wheel, do another one, and real quick, and then
get the hell out of it.
Get the hell out of here. Spin the wheel. Let's spin it. I'm going to spin it, but I accidentally spun it earlier. So I'm going to spin it and then cut to it so it doesn't show. There we go. Auditory Ecstasy. That feels dancey.
Yeah, like, not rap, sorry. I meant sort of like electric sort of dancing.
I'm going to cut to... Well, I'm not going to cut to your tight because that's your tight. Yeah. You look like a burnt crumpet. I'm going to have a look. Any ideas, though? What would your guess for Audio Ecstasy be?
I've already said. Like, I reckon it's going to be like sort of like House.
Dr. House?
Yeah, Gregory House.
They're from Columbia... SC? Which is that South Carolina?
Maybe?
Yeah, South Carolina. Columbia, South Carolina. Not to be confused with...
North Carolina.
Or Columbia.
Wait, is Columbia a state?
No, Columbia is a country.
Oh, yeah. It's because I was thinking, like, yeah, how dare you? It's because I was thinking in the context of America.
Oh, okay. That's how Americans think. Sorry, I don't know, man. That was mean, was it? Might have been.
No, it's pretty accurate.
We're going to listen to the single Fee Fi Fo.
Oh, it's missing the thumb!
But all of them were spelt different as well. You know? Do you know?
No.
It wasn't spelt Fee Fi Fo Fum. Because it didn't have fun, but it wasn't spelled Fee Fi Fo either. This is Fee Fi Fo by Auditory Ecstasy. Yeah, I think it's going to be dancey, I reckon. We'll listen to the first 30 seconds. Away we go. We go. Away we go. Spotify just isn't made for this, man. And by this, I mean...
usability.
Comfortably listening to music. It's so interesting.
It's a weird one for us, right? Because I don't even know what language that was.
I think it was made up.
It was made up.
I feel quite confident.
I thought so because there was a lot of like butterbee boobs.
Yeah. It was like scat,
which I enjoyed.
They're bringing scat back, I think. I can't wait for them to be like.
Because at first I thought it was like, if this is a language,
like,
I'm now
Vietnamese.
I'm like, we're just like, yeah, it was. We're pretty sure it was scat. Like, so that's my native language.
Yeah,
pretty sure it was gibberish. Yeah,
absolute nonsense. I don't know. it says retired military. They're producer of original music. And then I've gone on. Their Instagram is really cool. It's full of like art. So like artwork. I think it was scat. Spotify as well. One thing Spotify does usually have is lyrics, and there aren't lyrics attached to this song. So it leans towards, I think that was scat. Fee fi fo. And it sounded like if we mess around all the time just making up lyrics, and it felt like that.
Well, it sounded like,
which I think is why we possibly. At one point I definitely had a little smile on my face
because we understood it.
Yeah, we're like, oh. It's like when you meow at a cat and they're like, "What the fuck did you just say?" It was really cool though.
Yeah, no, I like the sound. This is the thing. I don't want to come across as like we're taking the mick out of the song.
Can we do one thing? I liked the. Can we do one thing quickly? Don't usually do this. This is unprecedented. I'm going to hit one other song by them.
Oh.
Right? And just skim it. Oh, for fuck. And it's not going to tell me what I wanted. I wanted to see if there were lyrics, but there weren't. I think what's happened then is what I was about to say and then wanted to check and get the receipts. I think what they've done is they've just used vocals as an instrument layer. And that's cool.
Yeah, no, it's
that's
cool.
Really cool. It's cool. And it's a good way of, like, for songwriters, when you're writing, like for me, I'll get chords or a riff, and I'm like, oh, I like that. My next stage is I sing nonsense. Again, I'm sorry if it isn't nonsense. But I'll go, and I'll find the words, and then I'll be like, I'm going to the zoo, and I'll put the words in afterwards.
You're going to the zoo?
In my next song I am. But yeah, so I think it's a really cool attitude to be like, vocally, the focus is actually on the instruments and the timbre and the feel. But yeah, really cool submission. Do let us know if it wasn't nonsense. We're pretty sure it was.
Forgive us if it was your native language.
Were you scatting? Well, they're from America, right?
Yeah, but America's like a melting pot of cultures, B.
Is that the end? Is that the end? America is a melting pot of cultures. The pot is melting.
Because it isn't, is it? It's like there's certain areas, but...
Well, it's the same as anything, right? Everything is about blending, but then everything just comes together. So you just get like... Everyone separates themselves. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway.
Well, because when you think about it, it's like every city has a Chinatown.
Yeah. Yeah. But then most cities have Chineses. Like, the takeaways.
We can't say that anymore, people. Did you remember people were getting mad at Brits in America because we use the word Chinese and Indian?
Wait till they hear Chogi Nosh. We'll see you next week. We ended on Chogi Nosh.
That might have to be blanked.